All right, you're ready.
All right. Well, I want to welcome everybody, those who are here in person and those who listen to the recording. I'm gonna just start us in a prayer, um, and I just invite you to get comfortable in your seat, and relax. And in this moment, we're just gonna let go of everything that took place before this moment. We're gonna feel our shoulders drop down from our ears. And let's just take a deep breath. And in that deep breath, recognizing that that breath resets our bodies to a place of comfort, that that our hearts are opened, that our minds and everything else before this moment is set aside. So I know and recognize right here and right now that all that is shared this evening is the word of God, is the purity of God, is the that divine intelligence and wisdom flowing through and as each one of us, and that all that we need to hear is heard, all that we desire to uplift and inspire and bring forth whatever is called, whatever is on your heart. I just recognize that there's an answer, that there is a reply, that there is a confirmation here during this time together. And yeah, it is a divine sacred appointment, whether you're here live or whether you're here listening. So just tuning in to what is here for you. With deep, deep gratitude, I release this word and affirm it by saying, and so it is. So I will be honest that I don't really have a talk title, but the topic is to talk about our soul's evolution. It seems like there's a lot changing in the world. Um, Today is March 20th, and astrologically, we're in between two eclipses. We just did daylight savings time last week. And if we listen to the media and what's going on in the world, it's changing by the second. And within those changes, you may feel unsettled. You may feel out of sorts. There might be frustration. There might be stress. There might be an anxiety. It feels like we're in this moment where we're really not sure where we're headed and or who maybe we're headed with or what we're doing. And that can be absolutely unsettling. So in that space, or in that reality, I should say, there's an invitation to explore and maybe discover how are we going to maneuver through this with more peace, with more grace, with more faith, with more trust. How can we be positive in the face of all that seems is taking place in the world that we may or may not agree with? So there's a lot of ups and downs, and there's a lot of circumstances going on. And, how do we connect with something beyond that? What do we do? Um, in this teaching of religious science, science of mind that was created by Ernest Holmes, of which, we're inner. Inner Journey is a teaching chapter of that philosophy. And part of our mission is to reach out through this YouTube channel to connect with others who may be feeling all of that, untethered, unsure, um, maybe even fearful about what is taking place in the world. So my intention for this evening is to remedy that, to offer ways that you can turn within to your soul and discover maybe a new conversation that you've never had. Discover maybe a new level of peace and trust and faith that you've not experienced before. And it's important, I feel like, for us to be authentic about what we're feeling. We give traditionally humans will say, you'll be like, how are you? Oh, I'm fine. It's fine. It's all fine when it's really not. Um, so being authentic allows us to grow. If we're not authentic in our own self assessment, then we keep brushing off keep brushing off the discontent or keep brushing off the frustration. And we never really get to the root of it until we're authentic, till we can look ourselves in the mirror and say, you know what? I can't do this anymore. What do I need to change? So it takes some courage to be authentic and really come face to face with what areas of your life that you're not comfortable with, to discover maybe new ways to create happiness or joy or a deeper faith or a deeper trust in what's happening within your life. And I can say absolutely without a doubt that this teaching has changed my life. When I was introduced to Science of Mind, I was a single mom with 2 kids, and my story is that I was spent. All my money was spent, all my energy was spent, I was just spent. And running on fumes, absolutely. And when I was introduced to affirmative prayer, my life changed. I kinda looked up and went, I could pray about this and this and this and this, like, all at one time, and it kinda gave me permission to even entertain the idea of rewriting my life. So, at the time, my children were pre-adolescent, so that tells you that one was chasing one, they were chasing each other around the house because they were in that pre-adolescent age and driving each other crazy, and they couldn't stand to be in each other's presence. And evenings were very challenging. Homework was just absolutely horrendous. And what I noticed was when I started putting my time and my attention not on the chaos, and I affirmed what I knew to be true about life, that God, universe, spirit, whatever it is that you want to call it, is in the mix of this, and that I am one with it. And from that space, I could recreate my life and continue out that prayer. So it honestly, it started out with like little affirmations, and it was simple. It was like, I am happy today. No matter what happens, no matter if the milk is spilled or the whatever, I am happy today. And little by little, as I reinforced and reinforced those affirmations, I noticed changes in my life. I saw changes in my children. I felt more calm. My children's demeanor seemed to calm down, and I wrote I journaled to kind of keep track. And, I'd look back 6 months on my journal, go back 6 months, and I'd kind of be like, oh gosh, I was a basket case then. And then look to now and look at my life and see tangible results. I saw tangible results by just doing affirmations on a regular basis. So that's kind of a starting point, to tap into your soul rather than, wanting, wishing, waiting, pray or begging and beseeching type of prayer. Affirmative prayer is the fire, the fire within. It ignites your soul. So when you do an affirmation or say an affirmation, like write an affirmation that ignites you, that lights you up, that you're like, oh, that's it, that's the one. That's where you want to stay. That is creating life. That is your soul's evolution. That is your clue. So within this conversation, we start with a blank canvas because what we recognize is that the power is in the moment and the now. That's it. It's not in the past. It's not in the future. It's right now. So when you when you create your affirmations and the power of now, it's like lighting a match. It's like it's like lighting a fire. It just ignites and it propels you. So my first invitation or idea for you is to try it. Try it out. Try out an affirmation. Then try out an affirmation that ignites your soul. Write them down. Keep a journal. Watch how your life changes. Because what I know about, an inner journey teaching chapter knows, is that this stuff works. You can Google it. You can do a Google search and learn about, um, obviously, anything that you'd like. But it's out there. So whatever it is that your heart is seeking, one of an easy affirmation is, all that I am seeking is also seeking me. It's not defined to a blue house with a red car or a bank account with a large amount of money. It's literally, all that I am seeking is also seeking me. So that you've not put it in a box. It is an open field to say, all that I am seeking is also seeking me. That's a big part of, there's a big part of trust in that, right? Because you're like, well, but I want specifics. Like, I want the blue dress with the high heels and the vacation to Hawaii. Well, all of that's fine. But that, again, the more that we open that up to not be specific, it allows us to sit in that place of receptivity and witness the beauty of God. Witness God, spirit, universe, source, whatever it is you want to call it, actively manifesting in our life. So, what we understand about this is that everything that we give our time and attention to creates. So, seriously, everything we think about creates. Energy follows energy. And that's the end of the story. The energy does not know of a past. It does not know of a future. It only knows the present moment. And what's interesting about energy is that it doesn't know if it's real or imagined. I'm going to give you an example. If I'm thinking of a past event that upset me while I'm ruminating about that past event, I am emitting energy. The universe has no idea that it was in the past because I'm emitting that energy in the now. Same thing, that if I'm happy and I'm joyful and I'm planning a vacation and I'm feeling that excitement of what it's going to be like to be on the beach or get on the plane or get on the bus or whatever it may be, again, the universe doesn't know that it's not taking place right now because there is the energy, there is emotions that you're feeling that are creating. So energy follows energy, and that's the end of the story. Um, so every cause we give our time and attention to creates. So when we think about our soul's evolution, I'm just going to invite you to reflect for a moment and think about these things. So we're going to explore what is your soul's evolution and what it is not. And we're going to start with the not part. So have you ever felt like you're doing the work or like the work is doing you? You're tired, you're exhausted, you're pushing, you're manipulating, you're trying to change the course of events. Maybe you're trying to change your circumstances and it just feels laborious. That would be, that's obviously, it doesn't feel like you're in the flow. It feels like you're moving upstream. That's not exactly the way we want to go about it, right? We don't want to be wore out and exhausted trying to change circumstances. How can we be in the flow? Um, so what is your soul's evolution? Again, it's authenticity. To be real honest with yourself of where you're at, what you desire, and what is taking place. And it is from that point, when you're authentic with yourself, you're connecting with that divine intuition, that wisdom within you. If you're not being honest with yourself, it's going to be hard to get there. And usually the universe, the world, whatever you want to call it, your life will give you clues as to where you're being authentic and where you may need some work. And hopefully those come across tenderly and gracefully, but sometimes they don't. And usually that creates an opportunity to look at yourself and say, okay, what do I got to do with this? What do I have to change? Um, but the point being is that when you're authentic and you're honest and you know what excites you and what excites your soul and what desires you have, that's kind of what I would call 0 point energy. That would be where you start. That's the starting point. And in that space, there's freedom in it because you are totally being pure, being authentic, being transparent with yourself. And it's from that place that you're free, right? Like, I can say in my own life, have I made mistakes? Absolutely. not many times. And that's okay. You love yourself through that. It's the self-love that you have to forgive yourself for things that allows you to be at that 0 point energy. It allows you to be at that place of authenticity, that you can look in the mirror and look in your own eyes and forgive yourself and love yourself. That's the starting point. And from there, as you create, as maybe you write an affirmation or maybe you write a prayer, that igniter is your ecstatic excitement about what is possible. Because what we know in a metaphysical perspective is that nothing is being withheld. There is no lack, there is no limitation, there is no fear. All of that is human stuff. Our life and our evolution on this planet so far has that's how we were raised. We've picked it up from others, maybe we've created ourselves, whatever, but that's not the true authenticity of our divine being. So our divine being is one of freedom, is one of everything is possible. And it is from that place that we can create and leave that. What we do is we leave the how to spirit. I can I know we all can probably gather that we've had times in our lives where we're brought up to a moment and we're like, how am I going to do that? What am I going to do? I don't know how to make this work with this, or I don't know how to pay this with this, or what am I going to do? In the divine, in our divinity, what we know is everything is possible. The stars rise, the moon sets, all of these things happen naturally and organically, and we can be in that natural organic flow of life just simply by knowing a few basic things. Knowing that our thoughts create our reality. And when we know that, without any doubt, then the responsibility is on us to ask ourselves, what are we creating and how are we creating? And I think one of the biggest things that I learned in my early classes was there is no this or that. There's no such thing, because there, the universe is plentiful. So there is no, you can have this, but you can't have that. It's no, everything is working together within my life, and I have everything required to overcome any obstacles. Um, so we have an opportunity to turn away from that which may create discontent or fear or whatever it is that we're going through, and look at it and affirm the opposite, affirm the truth that God is spirit, universe, whatever it is you want to call it, is infinite, is an eternal, never ending, that we as humans are infinite and eternal, that we are made in spirit universes. um, we are made in its image and likeness, that universal life and energy finds an outlet through us, through our hearts, through each of us. Spirit God lives within all of us. All of us have that divine, we are divine. So Ernest Holmes, a quote from Ernest Holmes is that universal mind, spirit, intelligence that is the origin of everything. It's called first cause, and it is God, universe, source, spirit, whatever it is that makes you happy to call it. That universal life and energy finds an outlet in and through all that is energized and through everything that lives. So it's right where we are. It's not outside of us. It is right where we are. So we take that power that is right there within us and we create and we connect with our soul. So when we're doing that, there can be no failure. There can be no, it's perfect. Like there is a divine order in all of that. All of that mucky muck of life, circumstances, situations, things that need to change, none of that exists because the change is right here where we are. So that if we are radiating peace and we go to the grocery store, the person that we come into contact with at the front door, whether they're acknowledging it or not, may feel that peace that we brought into the room. They may feel that peace when they're standing in the grocery line next to us because maybe that was our affirmation for the day. Like, today I'm going to feel peace. Today I choose trust. Today I am going to live calmly and peacefully. No matter what the news says, no matter what my significant other says, no matter how my boss behaves, it's an inside job. It is an absolute inside job. There's nobody that's going to come and save us from ourselves. We are the salvation we are looking for. It's all within. So when you connect with your soul at that place of 0 point, what you're going to notice is at 0 point energy, let's just say at that place of authenticity, when you connect with your soul, you're going to notice that any activities that you do that you like to do, you'll lose track of time. You know, when you're doing that, when you're in the zone, whatever it is you want to call it, when you're in the zone of doing something you love, you lose track of time. What are you doing when when your heart is completely filled with joy? Maybe you have a little pond that you like to go walk to and sit at and look at the ducks. And the time that you spend there just allows you to be content for that 10 minutes that you sit on that bench at that little pond. There's a contentment, there's a joy. What is it that you're doing when you feel that contentment? Maybe, what's your hobbies? Crocheting or cooking or gardening, walking, whatever it is. It could be singing. But the point is that when you unify your passion with affirmative prayer, boy, you have just turned on a light that lights up the world. So the emphasis is on remembering, first of all, the truth of who you are, the truth that you are powerful, that there is no lack or limitation in your life experience, that you are connected, that you have everything required to live an absolutely amazing life. And then you create your affirmations around that space of perfection and wholeness and and the powerful being that you are, and you ignite something that just can't be turned off. It allows you to be in the zone of your truth. It allows you to live life in a more fuller, freer, joyful way. And then there is no work. We talked about that earlier. You know, are we manipulating? Are we pushing? Are we wishing, wanting, and waiting? What changes that wishing, wanting, and waiting is for each of us to recognize the power that is within us and utilize affirmative prayer every moment of every day. And watch that fire ignite within your life. It the work that you do is no work at all. This connects this connects this is a bridge that connects your soul to its divinity, is affirmative prayer, and is knowing the truth of who you are, that you're here to be happy and joyous and live a life you love to live. So breathe into your heart. Receive this right here and right now. Receive it fully because you are amazing. You are absolutely capable and able to do all that you desire to do. So I affirm that right here and right now. And just recognize how you can adapt to the world and its changing events by affirming the truth of the qualities of God, that spirit universe, the creator of life, is joy, is happiness, is peace, is unconditional love, is abundance and richness and satisfaction and fulfillment. Find your words. Write down the words that up level and inspire you. Write them down. And then create affirmations using those words. Try it for a week. Try it for 2 weeks. Because it I expect that your life will completely change. Your life experience, your demeanor, your level of satisfaction and fulfillment will increase. The more that you are affirming the truth and remembering the truth of who you are. And that's what is called for in a world right now that seems dark, that seems very frustrating, that seems very confusing. We're not sure what's going to happen. So how do we, this creates an opportunity for us to go within to find our joy. It's not at JC Penney, it's not on Amazon, it's not in Tahiti, it's right here within us. So I'm going to close out in a little prayer, and I invite you to check out Inner Journey Teaching Chapter website so that you can connect with us. We're all spiritual practitioners. We would love to support you in your journey if you have a prayer request or whatever it may be. So I'm going to do a little prayer, and then Reverend Sue Ellen will share more information about the Inner Journey Teaching Chapter. So in this moment, I'm just deeply grateful for each of us, for all of us, for everyone who is listening to this YouTube. And just know and affirm right here and right now that you were inspired, uplifted, and gifted by all that was shared. That the tools, the ideas, the inspirations that were shared today uplift you and change your life in the most amazing of ways, knowing that each of us is a divine creation of the one, that we are made in its image and likeness, and that we are here, each of us, to live a life that we love to live freely, abundantly, richly, and that every day we are being reminded that we are amazing, that we are loved beyond measure, that all that we desire, that the power and the is right where we are. It is within us. So I am so grateful to be reminded of this truth. I am so grateful to live this truth. I am so grateful to speak this truth. And I affirm this good right here and right now by saying, and so it is. Amen.
And so it is. Amen. Inner Journey is a teaching chapter. It's been in existence for about 20 plus years now. And it is essentially virtual. We're scattered all across the country. If you found this material today or any other day helpful, and you would like to make a contribution to Inner Journey, you can do that in one of two ways. The first way is you can go to inner-journey.org, and there is a section off on the right side of the screen called Tithes or Offerings or Donate. And you can, it's a big blue box. So if you pick that box, it will take you to a place where you can enter a tithe or gift in that direction. If you would rather use your phone, you may text your tithe or gift to 405-337-9739. That's 405-337-9739. And the word for today's talk is trust. So you can put in the word trust and the amount of your gift, and that would be awesome. It'll ask you for bank information if you've not done it before. Otherwise, we appreciate you listening to us. We appreciate your donations. We appreciate you for just being you. And I'm going to turn the audio recording off